Football is one of the most lucrative sports, with players earning hundreds of thousands of dollars each week. Make sure to watch all the way to the end to find out, because when these athletes are passionate about something, they will go to great lengths to acquire it. Take a look at some of the footballers who have made ridiculously pricey purchases. Antoine Griezmann. When it comes to crazy purchases worth millions of dollars, Antoine Griezmann must be included. Come on, this person signed a $145 million contract in 2019, and he couldn't just be an average soccer player in Kappa Ferrari. Nah, this man had to be unique, so he spent $500,000 on this. Yes, $500,000. Anton snagged one of the world's iciest and rarest watches, a Rolex Rainbow Daytona. This masterwork had a 36 baguette-cut rainbow sapphire bezel and 56 brilliant-cut diamonds, but hey, hundreds of dollars for a watch is something Antoine could brag about. Mario Balotelli. The fact that he spent $500,000 on crimes he knew he'd be caught for. Well, you heard that right. So, when did it start? Mario signed a $31 million agreement with Man City, which simply put excessive money in his bank account for a player like him. So he had to pay out, you know? He had to put his money onto something, and Mario bought a $180,000 Maserati and a $250,000 Bentley Continental GT. The automobiles themselves were not the outrageously priced issue, it's what exactly he's done with them. Mario began as a law-abiding citizen, obeying speed limits and parking in designated areas, but his millions of riches soon turned him into a monster. Mario had the strange realization that he was a celebrity soccer player. Nobody, not even the cops, could tell him what to do. Instead of being respectful, Balotelli would drive up to restaurants in his Bentley or Maserati and park wherever he pleased. Mario was constantly charged that his fines totaled $500,000, and he didn't learn anything from it, so he kept doing it. His car was all over the curb or at the front door. If he could, he'd drive right into the building. And hey, he's 6'3" and 220 pounds. Are you saying he won't be able to do it? Nah, I don't believe so. So what's his justification for doing this? Well, he'd had it, walking to his car. I understand your anguish, guy. That 20-foot trek into the parking lot is torturous. But see, the cops couldn't care less about who he was or how much he was earning. You might be left wondering what could possibly be more bizarre than this. His fines amounted to $500,000 in all. Mario, on the other hand, did not learn anything from this. So he kept doing it, and his automobiles were detained 27 times as a result. This has to be a new high. He became tired of having to pick up his automobile after every meal. Well, okay, so that was the final straw. One day, Mario thought the car was the issue and gave it to his teammates. My pals, this guy is just donating his autos to his friends. Neymar Jr. It's one thing to spend $1 million just to breach the law. What about Neymar? He cashed out after being pressured into it. It wasn't always Ferraris and rainbows for Neymar. And believe me when I say he could afford a rainbow. He has a $185 million net worth. But his terrible childhood was the underlying reason for the $80,000 purchase. As a child, Neymar lived in the most deplorable circumstances possible. I mean, his family was so destitute that they lived in a neighborhood with no food, no electricity, in an area where people threw their garbage. As if it wasn't difficult enough, every day as Neymar played soccer in the streets, he was bullied by the local youngsters. They'd make fun of Neymar's second-hand clothes and his family's inability to acquire nicer teeth for him. Neymar, on the other hand, didn't let it get to him. It simply increased his desire to get away for himself and his family. So he gave up everything and devoted his entire life to becoming one of his country's top soccer players. And Neymar did it in 2009. With a smile like his, he proved to all of those kids that it didn't matter, since he began negotiating multi-million-dollar deals and moved from the ghettos of Sao Paulo to mansions in Rio. To slap it in the bully's face, he kept a $2,500 per tooth and an $80,000 grin shortly after signing his first major contract, which glows up whatever picture they see of him. Take a peek at Neymar. So encouraging. What's crazy is that Neymar didn't only waste money because of his critics, but because of Batman, he spent over $14 million in 2019. Just be patient with me. See, Neymar isn't like the rest of us. He can't just go out and buy a car or some clothing and be done with it. Come on guys, it's Neymar. He has no choice except to go all out. That's why he spent more than $14 million on it. He couldn't just show up in a Ferrari or a Rolls-Royce during training camp. Like in a movie, you have to fly in. His Mercedes-Benz helicopter can transport 10 people. Is it really Neymar without his signature on the tail? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. What do any of these have to do with Batman? Well, our man had the entire interior altered to look like his favorite superhero. Yeah, his spending habits have turned into an odd obsession. But hey, at least he doesn't have a life-threatening spending problem, right? Jerome Boateng. Jerome Boateng realized in 2019 that his Bentleys and Mercedes weren't attracting enough attention, so he had to find another way to spend his money. While most people that receive millions of dollars will either invest or buy a home, well, our Jerome is built differently. He required something that would make him stand out, and he knew the right person for the job. He took out his phone, dialed Gabriel the jeweler, and received this. Jerome went out and bought some of the coolest jewelry I've ever seen. A handmade Audemars Piguet worth $100,000 with a diamond bezel and 30-carat stones, and 3 linked Cuban chains that were all showered with VVS diamonds. Last but not the least, Gabriel surprised our man with a birthday gift. Gabriel presented Jerome with a magnificent $200,000 white gold link chain encrusted with 110-carat diamonds. Now, that's what we call a gift. I know you're enjoying our video, might as well hit the like and subscribe button. David Beckham. Now, $500,000 buying sprees are fine and well, but imagine paying thousands every time you go to the barber. That's only David Beckham. Our guy, as legendary as he was on the field, became more famous for his appearance than for his soccer achievements. Ridiculous. However, this meant that they were bombarded with endorsements from all sides. And Brill Cream was one of them. They sought to sell their hair cream as a product for sleek, sporty, and intelligent people at the time. They believed Beckham was the ideal candidate for the post. However, there is one condition. They required that he acquire a specific haircut. It was so precise that it would set him back $6,000. In my opinion, it doesn't appear to be anything that any barber can handle for $30. But who knows, right? Beckham pondered this for quite some time. After all, to him, it was more than simply hair. It was in his nature. His wife, however, noticed the Brill Cream deal and forced him to take it. But see, everything is okay. Beckham ended up getting a 4-year, $6 million contract with the business as a result of his efforts. So the $6,000 investment was well worth it. Make sure to stay until the end. You don't want to miss our last football player. This is Luxurious and Chic, the channel showing you everything about luxury, looking inside the lives of the wealthiest people on the planet, and experiencing the billionaire lifestyle. Check the links in the description if you too would like to experience a life of abundance. Hit like and subscribe for more videos like this. And finally, Cristiano Ronaldo. To a player like Cristiano Ronaldo, however, $6,000 is nothing. This one is one of the most bizarre athlete purchases ever. In 2018, he truly put his money where his mouth was. It was a date night for Ronaldo and his girlfriend. As a result, they chose Scott's, one of London's most luxurious restaurants. And if you know anything about Ronaldo, you're aware that he is a billionaire professional athlete. He's trying to spend a lot of money, but when he looked at the menu, nothing seemed to be expensive enough for him. Fortunately, the waitress was a huge Ronaldo fan. So when she came around to collect his order and saw how upset he was, she knew what to do. She presented him the secret menu. He looked around for a few minutes, then he started seeing stuff that cost $10,000. As a result, he knew he was in the right spot. And Ronaldo drank a rare wine that he could only afford. I'm talking about something so unique that's even hard to pronounce, Burgundy's Richebourg Grand Cru. But listen, he paid $25,000 for it. You know, a $30 Grey Goose would have sufficed. But that's what this guy is doing out here. Cool. Now, as pricey as this wine was, they certainly didn't make it last, since it was gone in minutes. But Ronaldo, you should know that this man earns $100,000 each day. As a result, he got another round. But this time, he wanted to save a little cash, you got it? Yes, $25K is a bit expensive. So he scrimped and bought a bottle of 1982 Bordeaux for $13,000 instead. Yes, our guy here bought 2 bottles for $38,000. 2. Okay, now $38,000 on wine. He's a billionaire, so he has the financial means to do things that make no sense. However, one of his transactions proved one of the most controversial in his career. Because of his 300 million Instagram and Twitter followers, Ronaldo is known to flaunt his lifestyle. I'm talking about $10 million residences and $1 million automobiles. But nothing compares to Ronaldo's $32 million masterpiece, the Gulfstream G200. The plane can reach speeds of 560 miles per hour. It can accommodate 10 guests and is equipped with Wi-Fi, an oven, a microwave, and speakers to blast music. Now, if I have something that costs $32 million, I'm going to take a picture of it. Anyone would, but Ronaldo in particular. And he was just going about his business on the plane, posting a selfie. Ronaldo is regarded as one of the best footballers of all time. Not only does he test the limitations of his body, but he also tests the boundaries of technology. And Ronaldo's curiosity prompted him to buy something that no other player had ever worn before: a mouthguard that improves performance. Ronaldo has started using a mouthguard lately that helps him maintain his balance and muscle power. The mouthpiece precisely aligns his jaw with his skull and chest, assisting in the distribution of his energy throughout his entire body. And it was there in 2010 that Ronaldo first wore this $130 item. Since then, the game has progressed to a new level. Take a look at this. It's impossible to deny that this could end up giving him superpowers. It's a $130 purchase, and I understand your thoughts. That isn't a ridiculously pricey purchase. But listen, Ronaldo is the most well-known athlete on the planet. Steph Curry's mouthguards went for $5,000, $7,000, and $25,000 respectively. Imagine how much a performance-enhancing item would cost. CR7 wore it during the game. One might buy it for hundreds of dollars. There's no doubt that footballers have so much money that even if they tried, they wouldn't be able to spend it all. So most of them spend it in the most ridiculous ways. After all, it's their money. They can spend it in any way they want. Which of these ridiculously purchased things is your favorite? Do tell us in the comment section below. And if you want to know about the most expensive things in the world, look inside the lives of the wealthiest people on the planet, or how to achieve success in your life, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay updated on our latest videos. Don't forget to hit the like button.